Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another stream. I hope you guys are all doing well today. You guys can clearly see Bitcoin right now is breaking slightly. Okay, it's obviously having a pump back up to $31,000. You guys can clearly see that. So it's looking pretty good for Bitcoin. We'll see how high it will go in today's stream. Okay, but yes, Bitcoin right now, guys, is in fact pumping. Okay. And the main reason, guys, we all know, right, why Bitcoin has in fact been pumping for the past few days is because of this, right? BlackRock filing for Bitcoin ETF. And ever since this, right, Bitcoin has in fact been pumping. There's been a lot of FOMO. Everyone seems to be very greedy. And there's obviously a lot of heavy buying going on right now with Bitcoin. And that's why, guys, we have in fact been seeing Bitcoin pump like crazy. And of course, just cryptocurrency in general, right? So it's looking pretty good, right? Everyone is in fact sort of starting to be greedy. Okay, we haven't seen a lot of greed for the past few months, right? Especially last year in 2022. But things are in fact switching up right now. Okay, so if this does approve, guys, right, with BlackRock filing for Bitcoin ETF, if this is actually approved, we're gonna see Bitcoin pump like crazy. You know what I mean? Like we really, really will. Not just Bitcoin, but cryptocurrency in general. So yes, guys, you guys can clearly see Bitcoin right now is in fact breaking above $31,000 finally, right? We have in fact been seeing Bitcoin all of yesterday pretty much hovering at 30,700, even 30,600 at one point. Okay. But finally, you guys can clearly see Bitcoin is sort of hovering at $31,000. It wants to break. Come on. I know Bitcoin wants to break above $31,000. So we'll see how high Bitcoin can go during today's stream. So the markets today, okay, is in fact slightly bouncing. Okay, you guys can see the global crypto market cap is kind of 1.2 trillion now. Okay, literally early this morning was at like 1.19 trillion. Now it's at 1.2 trillion. Great to see the market right now as I'm streaming is slightly bouncing back up. Okay, only 0.42%. So we are in fact seeing a fair few pumps, but nothing too crazy. We know Bitcoin Cash. A lot of people have in fact been talking about Bitcoin Cash, and yes, you guys can clearly see Bitcoin Cash has been absolutely pumping up to the upside. Literally a couple of days ago, it was at $106. Now it's at $208, so well above $200. So Bitcoin Cash has in fact been pumping, and you guys can clearly see for the past 7 days, for the past week, it's up 93%. Absolutely crazy to see for Bitcoin Cash, right? But yeah, the markets right now are not really moving, but we'll see what will happen. Okay, Bitcoin wants to break above $31,000, but it's still holding up very well in my opinion. So we'll see. So yes, guys, in this stream, I want to show you guys a fair few charts. I already showed you guys these charts in my previous videos. If you guys haven't seen the videos that I've uploaded today, you should definitely check them out. But I want to talk about it, right? Because Bitcoin's next move is really, really important in my opinion. Okay, $35,000. Okay, $35,000 is the next target for Bitcoin. Okay, I've been saying this many times. This rally that we have in fact been seeing for Bitcoin will continue on to the upside. We know Bitcoin for the past like few weeks has in fact been forming this downtrend. Okay, we know that, right? If we go to the weekly time frame right here, you guys can clearly see that. Okay, has in fact been forming this downtrend. Okay, and obviously you guys can clearly see Bitcoin did in fact break above it, and now it's well above $30,000, which is amazing to see. And I told you guys, once Bitcoin continues up to $31,000 and $32,000, right, it's going to continue to $35,000. I've been mentioning that many times, and that's why I have a line here for that target, right, $35,000. And I really do believe that's very possible for Bitcoin to hit in the next few days, maybe even the next few weeks. We will see. Time will tell. But this is very, very possible for Bitcoin, 100%. So I really do believe this will 100% be the next move for Bitcoin short term. So be excited for that from all my Bitcoin holders out there. Okay, in this chart, always indicates, right, whether Bitcoin's either, continue to pump up to $35,000 or is it going to have another correction back down to the downside, okay, to maybe, $28,000 or even $27,000 as shown in this chart, and then it'll bounce back up to 30, K, and then it'll just keep rising from there, right? We will see another correction for Bitcoin. It really depends. But thinking about it now, I don't think anything will cause Bitcoin to drop this much, right? From 30K to 27K. It could happen, okay? It could, right? But I really do believe, okay, we're not going to have a massive correction down this much short term, right? I really do believe, okay, like if we were to see some drops for Bitcoin, we'll probably see it drop like, $1,000, $2,000, even so 29K to 28K, and then we'll just bounce back up to 30K and it'll continue on to the upside, right? Or it could potentially just keep continuing on, right? Because it's looking pretty bullish right now for Bitcoin. Obviously, there's a lot of heavy buying. Everyone's being greedy right now. There's a lot of FOMO going on. So we could potentially just see Bitcoin keep on bouncing back up above $30,000. So time will tell, we'll see. And this chart is pretty much similar to that. And, it's been quite some time since we have seen Bitcoin, above $30,000. The last time we have seen Bitcoin at 30K was last April. So pretty much 2 months, guys. Okay, we haven't seen Bitcoin, at $30,000, but finally, obviously, Bitcoin is now back up at 30K. Okay, you guys can see the whole structure. So it's looking pretty good for Bitcoin, right? It really, really is. And it's just great to see Bitcoin back up at $30,000, 100%. And I told you guys many times, right? For all the bears out there, okay, telling us that, we will in fact see Bitcoin bounce back down to, its previous lows, which was $15,000, and of course reach a new low, $14,000, $13,000, even $10,000. Some people out there are actually thinking and willing to think that we're going to see a 10K Bitcoin, right? But I've been telling you that many times, that's over. We have already hit bottom. So it's all ups from here. You guys can clearly see that, right? We have hit bottom right here, okay, last November and December, especially November, right, when we saw Bitcoin at 15K, right? And then after that, okay, Bitcoin bounced, right? You guys can clearly see that, forming a new pattern to the upside. We had a falling wedge. You guys can clearly see that all of 2022, and we hit bottom, and clearly Bitcoin is creating, okay, forming a new pattern to the upside, right? Breaking out from this falling wedge and the bottom. So there's no way in hell, right, we're going to see Bitcoin bounce back down to its previous lows. Like, we haven't seen that in Bitcoin history. Bitcoin has never done that. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys, right? So it's all ups from here, pretty much, right? That's what I've been telling you guys many times, okay? Because I really want you guys to understand that, right? Don't time the market, DCA now, okay? The reason why I say, you should DCA now, and I still think it's a great buying opportunity right now, even Bitcoin's at 30K, it's been pumping, is because Bitcoin, right, if you really look at it, we are nowhere near its previous all-time highs. You guys can just clearly see that. We're not even halfway through reaching back up to its previous all-time highs. We are still low. We are still in a bear market. We're not 100% in a bull market just yet. So personally, right, it's still a great time to buy Bitcoin. Okay, it really is. It still gives us, an opportunity to accumulate more into Bitcoin, right? It really is. So don't time the market, guys. DCA, I've been telling us that many, many times. And obviously, a lot of people use this investing strategy, right, to make money in these assets and markets, and it works, right? That's why a lot of investors use this strategy, okay? Because it works. You don't have to time the market. It doesn't screw with your emotions, okay? You just buy in no matter how that asset or the market is performing, whether it's crashing or dumping, you just buy in, okay? That's really it. So we're still in the buy area, guys, okay? We really, really are. So don't miss this opportunity, because Bitcoin will eventually reach $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, and of course reach back up to its highs, previous highs, okay, 69K, and it's going to go well above that. We know the halving is obviously right around the corner, and we know what happens when the Bitcoin halving happens, right? After that, we're going to see Bitcoin pump, and of course, altcoins are going to absolutely skyrocket, okay? So don't miss this opportunity, guys, okay? Don't miss this opportunity. Now, here's another chart that I really want to show you guys, because it indicates every single time, right? The previous halvings, Okay, the pre-halving events for Bitcoin, we see Bitcoin pump as well. We see little teasers. Bitcoin sort of teases us with these pumps from its lows. So we know Bitcoin pumps, and then it dumps, and then it reaches a low, and then after the pre-halving, right, we see Bitcoin pretty much, have these pumps. So 6% right here, 3.5% right here from its previous lows, 3.4% from its previous lows, and right now, we are in fact seeing a 1x. Okay, so time will tell how much Bitcoin will go up. But I know for a fact that Bitcoin will eventually reach $35,000, $40,000, and this rally that we have in fact been seeing all of 2023 will continue on to the upside. Okay, just like previous years. And we know the halving is obviously right around the corner. Okay, so that means, guys, right, that's when we'll really see Bitcoin pump the most. And like I said, altcoins will pump as well. Okay, so some exciting times, guys. Okay, some exciting times for sure. Okay, now this is pretty interesting, right? I really want you guys, like, your personal opinions, you know what I mean, on this, right? What would you pick? $1 million in property, $1 million in Bitcoin, $1 million in gold, or $1 million in cash, dirty fiat money, right? What would you guys pick? Okay, now first of all, let's start with cash. I am pretty sure majority of us won't keep our money right in a bank. If you had $1 million, I'm pretty sure you won't just keep that in fiat money. You know what I mean? Because we know inflation is getting out of hand. Inflation has been rising, and we know, right, everything in the world right now is in fact getting more expensive and expensive. So I've been telling you this many times, right? Don't keep your money in banks. Okay, don't keep your money in fiat, right? I'd rather, invest it into assets, right? So that way you're sort of keeping up with inflation, you're staying away from inflation, right? And that's why, guys, personally, I am in fact investing into Bitcoin, right? I don't keep my money in the bank. Majority of my money is pretty much in Bitcoin, right? Because I treat Bitcoin like it's my own, bank account, my own savings account, right? Because it really is, you know what I mean? It's decentralized, so there's no middleman behind Bitcoin, okay? There's no governments, there's no banks controlling it or anything like that. It's literally just my own money. And we know nowadays, okay, a lot of banks have in fact been collapsing. Okay, so got to really think about it, right? Now, yeah, $1 million in cash. I'm pretty sure majority of us would not pick that, right? Now, $1 million in gold. Now, gold, yes, it does obviously have store of value. Gold has been around for literally decades, like years and years and years, right? Gold has been around forever. And personally, I don't invest in gold, right? Yes, even though, yes, gold does in fact hold its value, it's not as volatile as something like Bitcoin. I understand that, right? But the thing is, right, gold doesn't move as much as Bitcoin. Like throughout the past few years, gold hasn't really moved. You know what I mean? Whereas Bitcoin has only been around for like 13 years, right? Over 13 years. And, 10 years ago in 2013, right, Bitcoin was worth like $100, like, yeah, just over $100. I think 2013 was the first ever year we seen Bitcoin break $100 for the first time ever, right? And now 10 years later in 2023, okay, Bitcoin is worth tens and thousands of dollars, $30,000, right? Remember, at one point, Bitcoin was worth 69K. So name another asset, guys. Just think about it, right? For the past 10 years, name another asset that has performed way better than Bitcoin, right? You really can't. Like Bitcoin for the past 10 years has been performing absolutely amazing. Way better than gold, way better than index funds, in my opinion, and S&P 500, the stock market, all these other assets, okay? And personally, maybe even properties, right? Properties, guys, okay, I'll say this. Properties is obviously our number one investment, okay? Properties is obviously a great investment, especially, for long term, right? But I would rather pick Bitcoin here, right? It'll be Bitcoin and then it'll be properties. I wouldn't put my money in gold. I wouldn't leave my money in fiat money, right? Cash. I just wouldn't do it because we know inflation is a real thing. You know what I mean? So you always got to try to, move your money into assets to stay away from inflation, guys. You don't want to, save your money, right? You want to always invest your money to make more money, to stay away from inflation in a way, right? Because if you just keep your money in the bank, over the years, it's going to lose its value, right? Eventually because of inflation, right? So that's that. I found that pretty interesting. Now, this is the last chart that I really want to show you guys. You guys know that I really do see a 50K Bitcoin towards the end of this year in 2023. And this chart really does indicate that we will potentially see a $56,000 Bitcoin, right? A 56K Bitcoin, okay, first target. And that's very, very possible, right, in my opinion. Very possible. So I think, guys, this is a very, very realistic chart right here, indicating that Bitcoin will in fact reach over $50,000 in the next few months. And I think that's very, very possible for Bitcoin to hit in the next upcoming few months, right? Especially towards the end of this year in 2023, right? So we will see. You guys let me know in the comments down below, what is your personal price target for this year alone in 2023? Personally, I think it's 50K for me, right? I do in fact see a 50K Bitcoin for this year alone in 2023. And some people are in fact predicting Bitcoin can go way higher than $50,000. A lot of people are in fact saying Bitcoin can go up to like $60,000, which is crazy. You know what I mean? But it's possible. Okay, it really, really is possible. Like Bitcoin is literally halfway to reaching 60K, right? So just think about that. Now Bitcoin, okay, it's slightly having a drop, but it's still holding up very well. You guys can clearly see that just below $31,000. So it's looking pretty good still for Bitcoin, right? It really, really is. But we will see, guys. 56K, okay, that target, yes, that's very possible for this year in 2023. So time will tell. We will see. Now, the Bitcoin monthly returns, okay, is still at 12%, 12.5%. So it's still looking pretty good for this month in June. We still have a couple of more months. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more days till July. I was gonna say August, July. So we have less than a week. Yeah, my guess is we're probably gonna end off this month in the greens, 100%. Okay. So that's obviously great to see, because usually June, I told you guys many times that June is usually not a great month for Bitcoin. Bitcoin doesn't really perform that great for this month, but seems like this year alone in 2023, even throughout these past few months, has been pretty good for Bitcoin, right? Especially in January, the beginning of this year, right? 40% return. And then March, we had a 23% return. So, this year, 2023, has been pretty good for Bitcoin, right? It really has. Now, the Fingrid index, okay, it's gone slightly back up to 64. Yesterday, it was in fact at 62. But we're officially back up in the greens, guys, in the greed mode, which is absolutely amazing to see. Obviously, there's obviously a lot of heavy buying, okay? Bitcoin is obviously pumping because of BlackRock filing for Bitcoin ETF. So it's understandable why there's a lot of FOMO. There's a lot of heavy buying going on right now, adoption, and of course, greed mode, right? Everyone's sort of being greedy right now. So that's that. But it's slightly going back up. But overall, guys, the markets are in fact looking pretty good. Now, meme coins, okay, as usual, are in fact pumping. Pepe, not really pumping. You guys can clearly see that. Pepe is sort of down, but for the past week, 7 days, it's up, right? You guys can clearly see that. And I thought Pepe really lost its steam, but I guess not. Okay, so it's looking pretty good for Pepe. But look at this random coin right now. Robo Pepe. These names are just funny to me. But you guys can clearly see that this meme coin is up 50%. I told you guys to not chase green candles, right? Do not chase green candles, because eventually it will drop. But yeah, it's slightly pumping. But overall, Bitcoin Cash, though, I'm actually surprised, right? Bitcoin Cash has absolutely been pumping for the past few days, right? It's doubled. You know what I mean? It was at $100 literally a couple of days ago, and now it's at $200. Okay, and for the past week, 7 days, it's up like 100%. You know what I mean? Like over 90%. And at one point, it was past 100%. It was like up like 103%, right? So Bitcoin Cash has in fact been pumping, surprisingly, which is good. You know what I mean? But guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end this stream here. That's really all I wanted to talk about in today's stream. Okay, Bitcoin's next move up. Okay, so $35,000 is very possible at this point, short term. And once we see Bitcoin break above $32,000, I think that's when the rally will continue on, and we're gonna see Bitcoin reach 35K, and then of course it's gonna continue up from there. Of course, we're gonna have small corrections still. Okay, Bitcoin's not always just gonna shoot up like crazy. We're obviously gonna have small corrections. It's gonna consolidate right where it moves on its side. It's normal. Okay, it's just what Bitcoin does. But long term, okay, we're heading up, guys, and we know the halving is about to happen, so it's looking pretty good for Bitcoin. But guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream. Hope you guys all enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you guys have not yet already. If you guys haven't seen my most previous videos that I've uploaded today, you should definitely check them out. I really would appreciate that, and I'll catch you guys all in my next video. Have a best day, guys.